getting close to St. Patrick's Day, so I thought it would be a really good time to share my Irish soda bread recipe with you. In 2019, my youngest son, my youngest sister, and myself, we went to Scotland to visit my older son, who was attending college there at Edinburgh University. We spent just under a week there, and then we moved on to Ireland, and we went to Belfast and Dublin. And in almost every restaurant we went to, they served soda bread, Irish soda bread, with their meals. They served it with stews, they served it with all kinds of meat dishes, and we really liked it. So that's the first time I had ever tried it, and I've kept this recipe that I looked up as soon as I got back. So I wanted to share it with you, and I think it'd be a really nice addition to your Irish meal for St. Patrick's Day. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. These are the ingredients we're going to use to make the Irish soda bread. We're going to use flour, buttermilk, 1 egg, sugar, raisins, butter, soda, and a little salt. And it's the reaction that the baking soda and the buttermilk make that causes the leavening of the bread. So there's no yeast needed. We're going to start by mixing and whisking all of our dry ingredients. So you're going to use anywhere from 4 to 4.5 cups of flour. I have 4 here. So then you're going to add your tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and you're going to put it all in. And then you're going to whisk everything, all the dry ingredients together. So that's after you preheat your oven to 425. So after you mix all your dry ingredients together, then you're going to add, you can either add a cup of raisins or you can add a cup of currants. And what you're going to do right now is you're going to add in 4 tablespoons of butter that's been slightly softened. Excuse me. So we're going to add our butter in, and our currants or raisins, and I have a cup of raisins. So we're pretty much just going to kind of mix everything in here with a wooden spoon. So what you're going to do is you're going to get everything's going to be like in crumbs after it's all mixed together. It's you're just going to kind of mix everything in. Stir it around, and then after you kind of mix it together and you get everything kind of incorporated, it's going to be kind of like a course meal, and that's how you want it. So once you mix everything together and get your course meal, then you're going to add your egg and buttermilk. So we're going to have 1 egg that is, you want to beat that egg a little bit before you put it in. And then you're going to add 1 3/4 cups of buttermilk in there, in that well that you make. Okay, so that's good. So let's measure out 1 3/4 cup of buttermilk. So here's 1 cup. And we're going to put that in the well that we made. So there's 1 cup. And now 3/4, which is right there. And then you're going to add your 1 beaten egg in the middle. And that's pretty much it. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to mix all of this together. And that baking soda and the buttermilk make a leavening agent. That's what gives it the leavening. So instead of using yeast, it's kind of like a replacement for it. So what we're going to do is flour our board, and we're going to kind of form like a ball about like this, and we don't want to work the dough too much. So let me get that floured. So here, you want to work your dough just enough so the flour is just moistened and the dough just barely comes together. it's a little shaggy, and that's fine, because if you overwork this dough, it'll become tough, so you don't want to do that. So then what you're going to do when you get it like this is you're going to transfer it to, I use a iron skillet, and you're going to set it right in the center, just like this, and it should be lightly greased. And then you're going to take a knife, and you're going to use, it actually should be a serrated knife, and what you're going to do is you're going to score the top of the dough about 1.5 inches deep. That's what they call it. So that means you're going to kind of, that's why you need a serrated knife, because you're going to go down about 1.5 inches and make like an X. And the purpose of this, it's called scoring, is to help it get into the center of the dough when it cooks, so the center isn't raw. That way the whole thing cooks evenly. So now we're going to put this in a 425-degree oven. So there it goes on the middle rack, 425 for 35 to 45 minutes, and it should be golden when it's ready, and the bottom should be tapped and sound hollow. I just took a peek at it, and it's been baking about 30 minutes, and of course I set the timer for 35 minutes, but I wanted to check on it. And if it starts getting a little dark on top, what you want to do is tent it with foil, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to still bake it. I'm going to go with 35 minutes still. Okay, so it looks done. What we're going to do is either take a toothpick or a skewer, and you're going to like poke it in, and if it comes out clean, it's done. And it has come out clean. I'll just put it in another area. See, it's clean, so it's done. It's done, and it looks really, really good. So the best way to eat this is warm still. So what you want to do is wait about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can cut a slice up. We're going to take our bread out of this skillet. And it's nice and warm still. And that's when you want to have some, when it's still warm. So then what you're going to do is get a bread knife and cut yourself a slice, whoever you're serving. So you can cut it any way you want. I'm cutting it down the middle on one of those crosses that we made. And then I'm just going to, see, you can see right there, and that looked delicious. So you could cut it this way, lengthwise, however you want. So let's see. Well, you could also just separate them in quarters and make smaller cuts too. I've seen them cut like long slices, but you can do kind of however you want. And get yourself some butter, and probably softened butter, but this looks so delicious, and it really is delicious. So just butter your bread, and now we're going to give it. You can see making this soda bread is very, very easy. It's super simple, and I'm telling you, this is one of the best breads I've ever had. So let's give it a try. Really delicious. And the raisins. And it is good to have with the stew, a soup, anything like that. And that's what they served it most with. We did have a lot of stews while we were on vacation. We had a lot of soups, hearty beef stews. And they served this with almost anything in all the restaurants we went to. So if you ever get a chance to check out Ireland, it is a beautiful place. Kind, friendly, warm people, and the food is unbelievable. So if you're gonna make something specifically for St. Patrick's Day, this is a really good bread to serve. It's easy, you don't even need yeast. Or if you just want to make it just to make it. You really will like this. So I hope you give it a try, and I hope it turns out wonderful for you.